This is what we have discussed, the construction of a FDM process in the previous lecture. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the post-processing method, application, advantage and limitation of FDM process. So if we take a FDM process, there are two major issues associated with FDM process. One of the issue is removal of support. That is, if you can see from this image, so you can see from this image, there is a support. This support is generated for the part based on the orientation. After printing, you have to remove the support. So that is one post-processing. The another post-processing method is a staircase error. So you can look into this image. This image is a layer by layer deposition for a curved feature. So I have a sphere CAD model. Cross section of a sphere is shown here. If I want to print a sphere using a additive manufacturing process, this is how the layer will get deposited. Because within each layer, you cannot vary the profile edge. So each layer, the profile edge is straight, perfect straight. You cannot get the curved profile as you have in CAD. But how you are getting a overall 3D component as you gradually vary the profile from one layer to another layer and stack all those layers, you could be able to achieve this. So this is the three-dimensional or additive manufacturing principle. So when you do such adding a process by dividing a CAD into 2D contour, then add a 2D contour to get a 3D contour, the major issues associated with additive manufacturing process is staircase error. So you all can look this, there is a region which is not printed in FDM process. So the curved region is supposed to be obtained, but as you add a layer by layer, within each layer it will perfect a straight edge. It will deposit a straight edge. So there is some portion which got missed out, and if it is going to vary layer by layer, this will be like a staircase, and this missed out part is called stair step error. So this will be there in any digital based method. Even if you take a paint, draw a straight line and zoom it at a higher resolution, you may not get any you may not see the pixels, different pixels. You can see connected black line pixels. But if you draw an inclined line and zoom it at a higher level, you can see the black color pixels, and this pixel will form like a staircase because the computer is trying to represent a 3D geometry in 2D data, that is zeros and one. So this is a predominant problem in any digital method, and that is there observed in additive manufacturing process also. So you cannot eliminate the staircase error, but you can reduce it. Instead of going for a high layer thickness, you can go for very small layer thickness. So smaller the layer thickness, you can reduce the error. In certain case, you can reduce the error by using some post treatment, as I have shown in the video. So one of the post treatment method is thermoforming. You take a part, and the top of the part you keep a plastic sheet, any plastic sheet which will have a less melting temperature, and just heat the sheet, and the FDM part is kept at the bottom, and there are multiple holes at the FDM part. These holes are connected to a vacuum. So when you put a heated sheet onto the part, and if you apply a vacuum, automatically it will suck the uh, air, and the sheet also will get deformed because it is very flexible in nature. Already it is heated. So as it is very flexible and you are applying a pressure on the opposite direction, the sheet will form a profile of a FDM component. So after a point of time, you remove the vacuum. Since there is a inbuilt heat in the sheet, the inbuilt heat will help you to deform the sheet as well as the adhere with the component. So you could able to achieve smooth finish. In that way, you can avoid a staircase error. So this is thermoforming process. Using thermoforming, we can improve the finish of the FDM component. Another process is vapor smoothing. So you can see the image. So this is the image which is obtained through the FDM process. So if you look at to the image, it will have a very rough surface. So you can clearly see the staircase effect. So this can also be eliminated, or you can improve the finish like this. So this is a post-treated image. So here the post-processing method used is vapor smoothing. That is, you keep the part inside the container. Bottom of the container will have a acetone or some less vaporizing, less melting temperature material, a resin. So this resin will get vaporized, and this vapor will get adhered onto the component for certain period of time or certain cycles. You have to repeat it. So after the certain number of cycles, you could able to achieve the smooth finish. So this smoothness is achieved because of the deposition of a vapor. So this particular strategy is called vapor smoothing technique. So these are the way in which you can achieve the 3D component, complex 3D component through additive manufacturing. Then you can improve the finish of a component by using a post-treatment method. Some case you may also require a metallic finish. So there are certain additive manufacturing process support metal manufacturing, but FDM process, whatever we have discussed so far, it is purely plastic. But in certain case, like in automobile, you might have seen the housing of lights. So if you look into the light housing, internally it is plastic, but the plastic is coated with some metallic finish, like electroplating. So same electroplating method, you can also use it for additive manufacturing process. You can take anode and cathode, dip it inside the electrolyte solution, apply a voltage, and because of the electrolysis process, you could able to get a coating onto the component. There is copper. If you are using a copper nickel chromium is one type of a combination. You may ask, how can I coat a metal onto a plastic? So in that case, you have to coat a plastic with some conductive material. So whatever the opposite charge you are taking, compatible to that opposite charge, you have to coat with some conductive material. And after coating, you can immerse it into electrolyte solution. So actually, the electrolysis happens only on the coated medium of the plastic. Finally, you could be able to achieve the metallic finish of an FDM plastic component. So these are some of the way in which you can develop a post-processing method, and you can also look for some other method in which you can improve the finish of a component, especially complex shapes. So I have discussed depend on any die or mold, any free shape you could able to do a improve functionality of a surface. So you can also think of some new methods. So that is another important scope for doing project and research. And apart from that, the advantage is, since the material machine doesn't use any laser system, there is no need of any inert atmosphere, or you can print a part if it is a biocompatible material. Some are toxic. We have to maintain a suitable environmental condition to exhale the heated fumes. When you heat a filament, it will generate a lot of fumes. So certain material you have to take constraint into that. In most of the biocompatible material like PLA, the environment requirement is also very less. So obviously the cost of printed part through FDM will be less than that of other additive manufacturing process. Disadvantage, most of the FDM process supports only plastics. As you can see from this image, when you print a component layer by layer, the Z axis might not have a good strength compared to the other two directions, because in Z axis you have a layer by layer addition, so that will have a weak strength in a perpendicular direction, perpendicular to XY plane. Thin features or highly precise feature is very difficult to make in FDM process. FDM process tends to print a component based upon the filament diameter. So as if I go for very thin filament, I could able to achieve fine resolution because the filament are deposited. But in plastics, we have a restriction to make very thin filament. You cannot able to process such thin filament. So there is a limitation in terms of diameter of a filament available, and that limitation will have an impact on the resolution of a part which you are going to print in FDM process. So
Sir,
yeah, tell me. Hello.
perpendicular to build axis. Yes, sir.
Uh,
Perpendicular to build axis means like axis of the nozzle, right?
yeah, it is along the axis of a nozzle. For
Okay, sir.
example, if you look into this picture which I have shown here. So this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. So in xy plane, if you apply a load, you could able to get a better strength. But in z-axis, so z-axis is perpendicular to xy plane. In z-axis, you can see multiple layers, and in certain cases there is a delamination between the layer also. If you are not maintaining the proper parameter, you may get a delamination or warpage of a material at the time of printing. So that will lead to poor mechanical property in z direction. Is it fine?
So it means is the part printed from bottom to top, right? Like
Yeah, bottom to top. That is what along the
in
nozzle axis.
okay. So if you apply in the printed direction, so the strength will be less, right?
Yeah, printed direction, that is layer direction, the strength will be less. But it is not common for all process or all additive manufacturing process. In FDM, it is anisotropic. You cannot get equal property in all three directions. Most of the FDM based component, you may not get a isotropic property. Some case it is transverse isotropic. Transverse isotropic in the sense, in XY plane you could able to achieve the same strength, but Z axis you will not get the same strength. Anisotropic in X, Y, Z, in all three axes you may not get a same property. So when you apply a load, you cannot just, you may think ABS will give a, tensile strength of 56 megapascal. So I cannot blindly take for a design that 56 megapascal. You have to mention in which axis it is 56 megapascal. Definitely, if I apply a load in Z axis, it will give you around 30 megapascal. So that is anisotropic behavior. So material is same, machine is same. Since the product is directional dependent property, you have to take into the consideration for end application.
So
Application,
so,
yeah,
so we can use this. Hello.
yeah, I can hear you. Tell me.
So can we use these parts in some applications which has biaxial stress, like in which we can apply only in x and y direction? And
Mhm.
so can we use this, sir, or will it impact in z direction? Like
No, it depends upon your scenario. If you need better property in all three directions, then it is not recommendable. If you are not much bothered about, for example, if I take a tensile load is not a biaxial condition. It is only uniaxial. In one direction, you are going to apply a load. So within a single direction, if the property are fine for you, no issue. In certain case, within XY plane, so that is a biaxial case. So within XY plane, if your strength is within the factor of safety, then you can go ahead. Z axis is a consideration for your application, then you have to take care of Z axis into your design consideration.
okay, sir. Again regarding thermoforming, so how we will apply in 3D printed parts, sir? Because as it's 3D again, if we heat it and
That is what, for example, in this case, thermoforming, if you have a part which has a melting temperature of 220 degrees Celsius, you have to select a sheet in such a way that which have a melting temperature of around 96. Again, that is less than 100. Again, you are not going to melt. You are going to apply a temperature in which it can easily deform. That is in viscous nature, from rigid to viscous nature. So there is something called glass transition temperature. I will not heat until the melting temperature. I will apply a heat where the material is about to flow. So that temperature is called a glass transition temperature. So that temperature may not have any effect on your part. At the same time, the temperature should have a sufficient effect so that it will get adhered to the plastics what you have taken for a coating process. So we are not going to take a temperature which is equivalent to the FDM part printed material temperature.
so, sir, the part will be 3D printed. I mean, the sheet will
Yeah,
be 3D printed, and
yeah.
then again it will be
It is through
so.
FDM process. FDM process. So 3D printing we yet to see. It is through FDM process. There is layer by layer addition of material. FDM.
Okay, sir.
So there are many applications as we have discussed a lot in the introduction part, like tooling, medical application, electronics goods, fast moving consumer goods, FMGC. lot of application, but the major application of FDM part is form, fit, and functionality. If you look into this image, you can see you can see the knob which is tested for some functionality. So what is form, fit, and functionality? Form is ergonomics. For example, this knob might be designed for smoother handling for human hand. So is this ergonomically fine? So after printing, you can see the ergonomics of a part. After the, if there is a problem with ergonomics, again you redo the design and go for multiple printing. So that is one way, that is ergonomics. The second is fit. I will fit the component into a real application and see whether all my design, you may have lot of undercut, you may have some holes for fastness. So at the time of design, you may miss those holes. So when you have a physical component, you can fit into the component and see whether you have a sufficient degrees of freedom or all the constraints are given properly. Because in electronics goods, you may have a lot of fastness or lot of snap fits. If there is any mismatch in snap fit, it may not fit properly. So that is form is ergonomics, fit is assembly with the subsequent component. Functionality, for example, in end case, the same component might be fabricated in ABS. The machine also support in ABS, but for all car, I cannot create a knob using ABS processed through FDM process, because each part may take 2 hours for printing and the material cost is also very high. In prototype stage, we are not going to stop only with the prototype. You may have alpha and beta prototype of a component. In that case, you may not require thousands of knobs. You may require 100 knobs or 10 knobs. So that can be directly printed through FDM process. No molding and tooling. Directly you print in FDM process and fit into the end application and see how it functions, whether it functions properly or not. So that can be demonstrated by using this part. So that is the major application of FDM part: form, fit, and functionality. You can see the smoothness or ergonomics, that is form. You can assemble the printed component with other mating part, that is fit. Functionality, you may be using the same material in your end application also. So in that case, a fewer number of components without going for a mold, you can directly print through additive process. Even if there is any change in after form, fit, and functional testing, you can redo the CAD and again print those many components for another testing. So these are all the critical advantage of application of FDM process. So with this, we'll